Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our exclusive webinar on GST, Next Gen Reforms, Rate Rationalization, and Trade Facilitation. I'm Yash from Figment Global Solution, and I'll be your host today. We are delighted to have with CA Pratik Sadrani, sir, a GST expert, who will walk through us the key reforms and their impact on businesses. With that, let's get started. Over to you, Pratik, sir.
Hello. Thank you, Yash. Can you just confirm whether my screen is visible properly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
It is
am I
visible.
audible properly, right?
Yes, sir.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am CA Pratik Sadrani from Figment Global Solutions Private Limited. A warm welcome to today's exclusive webinar on GST, Next Generation Reforms. I am delighted to see such an enthusiastic participation from professionals and business owners who are eager to stay ahead in this evolving tax landscape. Today, we will discuss the outcomes of 56 GST Council meeting which was held yesterday. Our aim is to simplify this complex tax reform so that you can adapt them effectively in your business. Let's dive into it and make this session interactive and insightful for all of you. So, there's one. Okay, there was technical issue. So let's start with today's presentation. So I'll just walk through with this important amendments which were done yesterday. First of all, there was one main reform related to rationalization of GST rates. The rates which were 28% earlier, they have been rationalized to 18%. Majorly, all the goods are being rationalized to 18%. Then the rate of 5% has been there, is there for essential goods like food items, agricultural items. Also, the government has given relief to major sectors like healthcare, agricultural, renewable energy, and manufacturing. Also, there is one main rationalization related to trade for GST refunds. Another important amendment which came yesterday is related to the implementation of GSTAT, GST Appellate Tribunal, to resolve tax disputes effectively and strengthen the government. So let's discuss the timeline first and the evaluation of GST and the context for next gen reforms. GST was introduced in July 2017. Earlier, there were majorly four rates: 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%. However, there were many classification and compliance issues were there. Stakeholders faced disputes related to rates, related to complex compliances and cascading rates burdening households. Then Prime Minister Modi gave next gen GST vision on 15th August 2025, and yesterday on 3rd September 56 GST Council meeting held which gave next generation GST reforms. GST Council begins rate rationalization and process reforms, a key step toward GST transformation. So let's see the GST rationalization one by one. Earlier, there were majorly four GST rates. Now, the GST rates, majorly goods are falling under majorly two GST rates. One is 18% and another is 5%. Most goods and services are falling under 18%. Essential goods and services, which provides relief to households and consumers, it falls under 5% category. Goods like tobacco, pan masala, aerated drinks, this falls under 40% category. So this is the major reform. The government has changed the 12% slab rate and 28% slab rate. Majorly goods which were falling earlier in 12% slab rate came to 5%, and which goods which were falling under 28% came to 18%. Let's see one by one major industry-wise effect. The first effect is related to the consumer goods. Key items like FMCG, example hair oil, soaps, toothpaste, healthcare devices, agricultural machinery, fertilizers. Then this goods which were earlier under 5% GST rates, the government has introduced nil GST rate on these goods. Then another major amendment which came is related to the insurance premium and insurance sector. The government has introduced nil GST rate for life insurance and health insurance policies. The next reform which came is related to renewable devices. GST on solar and wind energy devices is set at 5%, aligning with net zero commitments and supporting clean energy adoption and sustainable development goals. Then the government has increased GST rate to 40% on sin goods like tobacco and aerated beverages. Coming to building materials and GST on cement, it was earlier 28%. Government has introduced a lower tax rate of 18% on cement. This will facilitate more affordable construction and supporting the infrastructure development activities of government. Then related to small vehicles, earlier small cars used to be at 28% GST rate. Currently, the automobile sector is enjoying a reduced and harmonized GST rate of 18% on small cars. Motorcycles having less than 350 cc capacity is covered under this GST rate. Then all the auto parts have been covered under 18% GST slab rate. These are the major highlights which are being given yesterday. We will just reproduce the same. There is reduction of GST from 12% or 18% to 5% on almost all the food items such as packed namkeens, bhujiyas, sauces, pasta, instant noodles, chocolates, etc. There is reduction of GST from 18% to 28% to 18% on ACs, TVs, dishwashing machines, small cars, motorcycles having less than 350 cc capacity. Also, there is reduction of GST from 12% to 5% on agricultural goods such as tractors, agricultural, horticulture or forestry machinery. Also, there is reduction of GST of 12% to 5% on labor intensive goods such as handicrafts, marbles, blocks, granite blocks, intermediate leather goods, etc. On cement, which we earlier discussed, the GST rate is 18%. Earlier, it used to be 28%. Further, GST rate is reduced from 12% to nil on 33 life-saving drugs and medicines, and from 5% to nil on 3 life-saving drugs and medicines which used for treatment of cancer, rare diseases, and other severe chronic diseases. There is reduction of GST on all drugs and medicines from 12% to 5%. There is reduction of GST from 18% to 5% on various medical apparatus and devices which were being used in for medical and surgical purposes. Then there is reduction of GST from 12% to 5% on various medical equipments and supplies such as wedding gauze, bandages, diagnostic kits, blood sugar, medical devices, etc. Then there is reduction of GST from 28% to 18% on small cars and motor vehicles having capacity less than 350 cc. Then there is again a relaxation for buses, trucks, ambulance. Their earlier rate used to be 28%. Now new GST rate is 18%. There is uniform GST rate of 18% on all auto parts. There is correction of inverted duty structure in fertilization sector by reducing GST from 18% to 5% on sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and ammonia. Then there is reduction of GST from 12% to 5% on hotel accommodation services having value less than or equal to rupees 7,500 per unit per day or equivalent. There is reduction of GST from 18% to 5% on beauty and physical well-being services used by common man, including services of gyms, salons, yoga centers, etc. So these were the major highlights of yesterday's GST Council meeting. Now, coming to implementation timeline and transition arrangements, this rates will be effective from 22nd September 2025. Also, from 1st November 2025, there is a launch of provisional refund system. The government has introduced this system which initiates 90% of provisional refunds for inverted duty structure claims based on risk evaluation, which enhances the cash flow of the businesses. Then, related to GSTET, the government has given the deadline by September 2025. GSTET will be live, and all the cases till 30th June 2026 can be filed before GSTET. The hearings of GSTET will commence from December 2025. So these were the implementation timelines and transition arrangements which were discussed and given in yesterday GST Council meeting. Now, yesterday in the meeting, government has given some trade felicitation measures as well, which strengthens the businesses and institutions. So, government has given clarification on valuation rules related to lottery ticket valuation. They have clarified that standalone restaurants will not be treated as specified premises for GST, and there will be block GST for them. Then they have given the statement that technology driven compliance monitoring will be done. As discussed again, that GSTET will be operational from September 2025. This will reduce the litigation backlog and it will enhance the taxpayer confidence on government. So now we will discuss what are the compliance guidance for businesses and immediate action points which are required. We need to review and update all our business contracts so that we can incorporate all the revised GST rates into it. All the business contracts shall be read again, and the impacts which are there due to 56 GST Council meeting shall be taken care. We need to reconfigure our IT and ERP systems so that the updated rates will be there instead of the old rates. We need to adjust our IT frameworks and ERP systems to accommodate new GST slabs and tax calculations effectively. Also, there will be effect on our cash flow. So we need to ensure the our major figures like stock, our bank figures, and the major liabilities, short-term liabilities, so that all the changes which are there in yesterday's meeting can be incorporated smoothly. Now, in order to align all these changes, we recommend that steps shall be taken now so that we can have this transition smoothly. Also, uh, now coming to the concluding portion, I thank you all for your active participation in today's session related to GST next generation reforms. I hope that these discussions which are provided clarity on major changes which were done yesterday. It will help to understand reforms early, ensuring your business stays compliant and future ready. If you have any further queries, feel free to connect with us after the session for more guidance. So over to you, Yash.
Thank you, sir, Pratik sir, for those valuable insights. We will now take a few questions from the audience in our Q&A sessions. Please drop your queries in the chat box, audience. Pratik sir, there is one question from Prashant sir.
Yes, please. Yes, can you just read the question for me?
Yes, the The question is, what will be the GST slab for service charges of bank?
Majorly for banking industry, the rate is 18%.
There is a one more question from CA Umang Agrawal sir. Says input as on 21st September. Uska क्या any clarity on that?
Uh, yes, can you just read that question again, please?
Yes, sir. Says input as on 21st September. Any clarity on that?
So that input can be taken. You can utilize that input for your future liability. There will not be any ITC lapse related to that. You can very well use those input tax credit in your business for your future GST liability. There will not be any issue related to it. The GST input credit will not get lapse. You can utilize those input tax credit for your GST liabilities.
One more question from Nilesh Rane sir. By when will this getting notified to become law?
These GST rates will be effective from 22nd September 2025. Majorly, all the GST rate amendments which are discussed today will take effect from 22nd September 2025.
One more question from Suraj sir. Now, since rates have been reduced, how will government manage revenue shortfall?
So there are major things. See, government has taken a broader perspective while giving these changes. So in order to boost the economy and to boost the major sectors like agricultural, healthcare, they have introduced these changes. Through this, the spending will be more and government will get the revenue in the future.
One more question from Umesh sir. Is there any items tax rate shifted from 12% to 18% or 5% to 18%?
There are few items. What we will do, we will share you the entire this rate structure. Yes, just can you share this now, or you can share after the this session?
After
We
this
will share
seminar,
you the
I'll
entire
share.
rate wise, item wise rate list which are changed by the government yesterday. We will share
Yes,
you.
sir. Yeah, yes. Sure.
There are changes in many goods.
Uh, from Prashant sir, is there will be any cess and in 40% GST slab, that is SUV and VP?
Sorry.
Is there any is there will be one more 1 second sir. The question is there will be any cess in 40% GST slab, that is SUV MVP?
See, related to that 40% slab rate, currently this cess has not been introduced. It has been wiped up at the current this yes, as per yesterday meeting. So rate has been prescribed at a higher rate of 40%. So there will not be any cess on it.
One more question from Naresh
Is
Somani
there any?
sir.
Yeah.
Is there any change in place of supply for intermediary services?
Related to place of supply, the rule is similar as it was earlier. There is no change. Just for specific intermediary services, place of supply rules will be as per the earlier norms only.
Okay, sir.
Related to GST refunds. So yes, there are changes in GST refunds. The government has introduced that GST refunds will be more smoother. The compliance will be more easy, and they will issue GST refunds in more timely manner. There are few changes related to GST refund, and they have clarified the same.
One question from Hardik Gandhi, sir. What will be the GST rate for medicines other than life-saving drug?
So, majorly GST rates on medicines are prescribed under 5%, and then remaining, which were few drugs are there whose rate has been prescribed by government at 18%. Detail drug wise details has been given in the list. We will share you later after the session, immediately after the session.
Okay, sir. One more question from Rahul Raja, sir. Any changes in RCM on transport or on rent?
Any changes related to transportation service?
Yes.
Yes, for related to transportation service, so government has introduced changes. Few transportation services which were under 12% slab rate came to 5% now. So there are major transportation list which are there. I'll just share you this PDF. Yes, can you share that PDF in this meeting, or will you send that PDF later on?
After that meeting, we will. I'll share the.
Okay.
PDF.
Related to
Yes.
all the items which are changed from 18% to 5%, 28% to 18%, we have prepared one list. So we will share you on a mail after immediately after this session. All the services.
The question from Sandeep Kumar, sir. Compensation cess will not be leviable. Whether accumulated cess will be refunded.
So, see, there is a scope that government is looking to refund that cess after the application. Government is definitely going to refund if, since they are no, removing this cess from 22nd September. So, accumulated cess will be refunded back.
Okay, sir.
However, planning should be done that this you utilize this cess in this span of time. That will be a good planning.
Hi all. Any questions? Uh, the question from Mahesh Bhattar, sir. Please advise on GST on import of goods.
GST on import of goods.
Yes, sir.
So, related to imports, the government has majorly done the rates. There are majorly the procedure is same. Earlier, we used to take ITC. Similarly, we are going to take the input tax credit. The rates, only the rate of goods has been changed. The entire procedure is same. No changes in procedure, only the good rates of the GST has been changed. There is no change in the procedure related to input tax credit, related to imports, related to this procedure for levy of goods GST on imports. There is no change. It is exactly similar. Only
Okay,
there
sir.
is change in rates. Also, the compensation cess is being phased out, so cess on imports may reduce accordingly. That is the thing.
The question is, since coal GST rate has increased from 5% to 18%, what is the status of coal sales rate?
Coal cess rate, wait, I'll just share you with this. There's one connectivity error I'm facing. Can you just repeat the question again?
Yes, sir. Since coal GST rate has increased from 5% to 18%, what is the status of coal sales rate?
It will be wiped out in a phased manner. Cess will be wiped out. Cess will be wiped out in a phased manner.
Okay, sir. From when?
It will be effectively from 22nd September, as I said.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us today. We hope this session was helpful. On behalf of Figment Global Solution, we wish you the continuous success. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all.